And then the last shot of the movie, what happens?
Welcome back to Snorkel, everybody. It's Daniel and Johnny with another movie review. This time it's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Overall, there have been 5 live-action, genuine Spidey films so far. Obviously, the original Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire, and then the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield, and those didn't go so hot. But here we have Tom Holland in the role, and not only is he Spider-Man, but Spider-Man now is in the MCU thanks to a deal that Disney and Sony did a couple years back.
So obviously Disney owns Marvel. Spider-Man is a Marvel character. Marvel and Disney had to get Sony's permission basically because they sold the rights before Disney bought Marvel, which is stupid, but whatever. Yeah. So now they're allowing them to use the character for a few films.
Yeah, and obviously a first introduction of this iteration of Spider-Man was last year in Captain America Civil War. Here, though, is his first solo outing. And I'm going to be right up front with you guys. Look at our videos for the trailer reactions we did for this movie. And I have not liked the marketing for this movie. I thought the trailers looked bad. I thought the posters have been awful, which a lot of people have said that. And I just had my doubts about the director, about the writers, all 6 of them, and then some of the cast members. So going into this movie, though, I'd heard some good things. And I was keeping my eyes open, so to speak.
Oh boy, we were wrong.
And I will say that I was wrong. I'm so glad that they proved me wrong. This is maybe the best Spider-Man movie ever.
It may be the best Spider-Man movie ever. It's easily in the top 3, I would say, of the MCU.
Yeah, it's up there with Iron Man and Guardians and Winter Soldier for me.
We've seen a lot of different Spider-Mans, and they show the origin story a lot. And everybody, one of the reasons I go into some of this movie, I was like, oh man, do I really want to see another origin story? Oh my god, again. And they gloss.
This is not an origin story.
It's not an origin story.
To be fair, though, Spider-Man at this point is one of the only characters that people are everyone knows the origin of fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
And that him and Batman and Superman probably. But yes, I'm glad that they did not do the same thing as the original Spider-Man in 2002, the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, in 2012. I'm glad that they did their own thing. And one of the things that sets this Spider-Man apart from the others in a big way is he is a legit high schooler. This kid, Tom Holland, is my age, okay? And I just graduated from high school a couple years ago, but he plays a young Peter Parker. He's supposed to be 15 in the movie, a sophomore, and it works. And the whole high school vibe is there in spades.
Johnny has an uncanny resemblance to Tom Holland.
I have heard that. That is not true. I personally do not see that. I wish I looked like Tom Holland.
Either way. Man, Tom Holland is phenomenal in this role. Michael Keaton
he is a good...
Holy crap. This villain, when you looked at it, when we were making jokes in some of the trailers, I was what the hell is he's Mechanic Vulture? What the fuck
I wasn't feeling it. I thought they were going to waste Michael Keaton.
Oh my god, they just delivered on the character. It was so unique. It was
very unique.
It was a top-notch villain performance, especially in the MCU, when they throw away villains left and right.
I'm going to say something real quick. This is not a spoiler, but in regards to the villain, I'm going to talk about how the movie opens. So if you don't want to know, I'm not going to get into details. But the movie starts with Vulture. It starts with him. It starts with Michael Keaton's character, not Peter Parker. And I think that's always a great way to set up the villain because you get right to the point of why he is this way. It's almost like an origin, but I think a lot of great movies do that. They did that in The Dark Knight with Joker and the bank robbery. They did that with Bane and the plane. They do that with a lot of movies where I think the villain always shines. And man, I was as soon as they showed why he was doing what he was doing, I was hooked. I was like, okay, I understand why this guy is going through this. Tom Holland is phenomenal in this. We both agree. The supporting cast is excellent. And I can't even name all the people that are in this movie, but the kid that plays his best friend, Ned, in the movie, he is really good. He is kind of a bit of a comic relief, but he's also a legit friend. He's there for Peter because he likes Peter. You know what I mean? Zendaya is in the film as well.
Funny as hell.
She is very funny. She's very low-key. and I liked how they utilized her. What do you think about Tony Stark's involvement in the movie? Because people were worried he's going to be in it too much. It's Iron Man 4, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, the marketing, 100%, I would do the same thing, is put him in it as much as possible.
That's true.
Tom Holland, to most people, is an unknown quantity. They don't really understand him or who he is yet. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most bankable people in the world.
Yeah.
So you're going to put him into commercials. And he was in it a good amount. He played in the story without overshadowing Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It was like perfect.
It was really well
done. And they had Happy in there a good amount.
Yeah, John Favreau returned.
John Favreau, who's one of the best directors, and he's a good actor as well.
This movie, for the first time in a long time, made me like really realize just how impressive the MCU is. I don't love all the movies. Some of them are really great. Some of them not so much. But here, when you see it from Peter Parker's perspective, and you're put into his world, he's just a sophomore in high school. And you see how all these events that you've seen in the past 15 movies and all these characters that we've come to know, and you see them through his eyes as like these mythic figures that are affecting his life and the life of the entire planet, basically. It gives you a better appreciation, for me at least, is wow, this shit is like getting serious. Like, you don't realize how big this world has become. And it got me more excited to see Infinity War, because not only is Tom Holland going to return, but just to really see the culmination of everything that's been established. Because there are some great Easter eggs in this movie. There's some stuff that nods to the other films. There's stuff that nods to things that we're going to see later that I'm not going to spoil. And I felt this movie made me feel warm inside. And a lot of times I don't feel that way watching some of the other movies. But man, I am very, very pleased with this. This is probably my favorite since the original Iron Man. I will say that, probably.
So watching superhero movies and comic book movies, they have to hit certain beats. And depending on the mood of the movie, I guess you want to say. Spider-Man, you want it to be light, you want it to be a little funny, you want it to be youthful, but not like too much.
A kid. You want it to be Spider-Boy.
Yeah, you want it to be like a teenager or a young adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want there to be good action. But this is a legit 9.
This is a legit 9. Very much so. I do not have very many complaints at all. I will say the one thing that I thought they could have done a better job with is a lot of the environments in this movie are CGI. For like the stuff that you see from Washington, D.C., it's pretty much all green screen, a lot of the New York City stuff. Although they did shoot quite a bit on location, which is great. I love when they do that. But the CGI in the fight scenes I thought was actually better. When there was so much going on, I was kind of impressed. I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. Man, I'm really very surprised. I'm relieved. It's definitely, like I said, 9 out of 10 for me at least. You're gonna love this movie, guys. Like, it really did pay off, and I'm very excited to see what they do in the future.
Alright, so now we're gonna jump into the spoiler portion.
There's quite a bunch of shit that goes down that you can't say it without spoiling the movie. So one of the main things is there's a singular moment in this movie towards like the third act where shit just fucking goes up another level, and it's
everything builds up to this one moment, and then
the rug gets fucking yanked out.
Peter goes up to get his
homecoming date. This girl he's been crushing on the entire film.
Yeah, and they've been playing it up like shitload. And
obviously throughout the film he's been going against Michael Keaton's Vulture villain, and so that you've had these two different things that are going on with these relationships and conflicts. He's going up to the door, rings the doorbell, he's all excited, he's dressed up, he's looking good.
And then
guess who the fucking answers the door?
Michael Keaton opens the door.
Michael Keaton! Oh.
We had no idea at all. Like, they didn't give any
I was shook.
hints whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then he opened the door and everybody in the theater was like,
oh my god. And then not only is that moment great, but the way they play it for like the next 5 or 10 minutes it's great drama and it's great comedy at the same time. And Tom Holland plays it perfectly. And he has a great dynamic with Keaton.
They like go in the house and the mom wants to take pictures and he's like literally staring at my face.
He's freaked out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's something that you haven't seen in other Spider-Man movies, except for maybe when he goes to dinner with Willem Dafoe as a Green Goblin. But seeing him here as a kid who's so not in his element at all was really funny.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
And then going into the very end of the movie in the last 15 minutes or so, a bunch of different stuff happens that is kind of like crazy. Zendaya's character is revealed to be Mary Jane.
Her name is Michelle in the movie, I guess.
I guess they're changing the canon, basically.
But they, like, her friends call her MJ.
That's what she says. And it's funny because the entire movie she's been so antisocial. And so when she says, oh, my friends call me MJ, it's like, now she has these friends because she's been on this team. And you kind of get the vibe that she definitely has her eyes on Peter. because Liz, the girl he was crushing on the entire film, has to move because her dad goes to prison.
Yeah.
And so, man, that's another thing that has me excited because him and Zendaya, like in the next few films, like could have a whole arc with them. And then he goes to the Avengers headquarters in Upper New York, and he finally has his talk with Tony. And Tony congratulates him, tells him he did a good job. Finally, he didn't need the suit.
Invites him to be a team member of the Avengers.
Yes.
He has this sick, like, metallic,
It's like Iron Spider suit.
Iron Spider suit, yeah.
It's not like the Civil War comic, but man, it looks fucking awesome. And he said he wants to give him the suit, he wants him to be official Avenger, live in the compound, and announce to the world, just like he did in Iron Man years ago. And Peter's like, no, man, I'm sorry, but I want to be in high school, I want to be with my aunt and all that stuff, which is understandable. But then guess who walks out?
Freaking Pepper.
Pepper fucking Potts, guys. They didn't forget her. And because this is really the only legit like romance that has been decent in the MCU. The Thor and Jane thing has not worked out at all. Fucking Bruce Banner and Betty Ross, that is not even in existence either. So to see them finally reunite was really cool. And then there was this thing with Happy with an engagement ring, and you're like, oh shit, are they gonna get engaged? So that was really cool. What happens in the last shot of the movie?
So Peter gets his suit back because earlier in the movie, Tony takes his Spider-Man suit because he thought he wasn't mature enough for it yet. Basically, he gives it back to him. He puts it on, and then he basically like turns around in his room, and he's like, freaking Aunt May is like standing right
Aunt May is standing right.
And she's like, what the F?
What the?
Right when she says F, she's like, cut off. A lot to unpack for this movie, guys.
Yeah.
Leave us tons of comments, all that kind of stuff.
We want to discuss it because it's nuts. So.
Yeah, there's so much crap in this movie. We could have like a 50-minute like a freaking hour-long video about Spider-Man.
Yeah. And it's really great too. There's all these twists and turns because personally, I thought that they'd spoiled everything in the trailers. But no, they did a good job, and I was very pleasantly surprised. So.
Thank you guys for watching our review. Go check out Spider-Man Homecoming in theaters this weekend.
Leave your thoughts below if you've seen it already.
Yeah, and let us know what you think about the MCU just in general. This is obviously a very, very strong entry in that series.
Yeah. Next one is Thor Ragnarok in November. Looking forward to that.
And come back for Comic-Con and all of our other videos, obviously, in the next coming weeks here. Please subscribe and like our video. See you guys next time.